to you.
Hello, wanted to welcome all of you new subscribers to Ambassador Maliek Winstead's YouTube channel. If this is your first time, please do hit the subscribe bell so that you'll be notified every time he uploads a video. So today, you guys, we have here with us Minister Natakia, okay? First, before we get into that, I want to bring to your attention that Ambassador Maliek Winstead is doing a outside community event today. And we want to welcome all of the YouTube subscribers in to see what we're doing today. We want to let you all know that there's a community drive going on. We're giving out free items to the Greenville, North Carolina area. I don't know where you're watching from, but wherever you're watching from, we want to invite you into what we have today. So I just want to take a couple of moments to interview Minister Natakia to ask her about Ambassador Maliek Winstead and exactly how did you come in contact with the ministry, Minister Natakia?
Well, I was introduced to him at a service he was at. I was actually a member of that church, and he prophesied to me and over my then 3-year-old son, who's 9 now. He prophesied that he would be preaching by the age of 9. That's exactly what he's doing. I didn't know I was going to come back in contact with him later on and become members of his ministry. Since I've been here, when I came here, I was depressed and a single parent. I was broken from childhood and adulthood. And since I've been at the church, it took me a minute to get to grips of what kind of church I was in, and I had to find God again and know who he was and know what a prophet was, because I was at a church that didn't teach about those things. So once I came into contact with him and knew about apostolic and knew this is where I needed to be, it helped me open up. I was reserved at first, but the more I came, the more I opened up. And now I'm serving under the ministry. I've been here for 3 years, almost 4 years now.
Okay, so let me ask you a couple of questions. So you said he prophesied to you when your son was 3 years old that he would be preaching by the time he was 9.
Yes, ma'am.
And that has come to pass.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so right here we can talk about maybe for a second or two how the church is looked upon, the gift of prophecy is looked down on now in the church community, but you're telling us that the gift of prophecy still is working and is still at hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when you were in the church prior, so you were depressed while you were in church?
Yes, ma'am.
So you mean to tell me that while you were actually in church, you were still battling with the spirit of depression?
Yes, ma'am. Had been since I was about 8 years old.
Okay, so here I want to talk about for just a second or two before I bring up my next person. It's true to say that sometimes we can be in environments that are supposed to bring about freedom,
Right.
but they actually don't bring about freedom. So let me ask you, do you think it's important what church you're connected to, what leader you're connected to? Do you feel that that has something to do with your freedom or your liberty or just your overall living? Do you think that your church and your leader has something to do with that?
Yes, absolutely. I feel that as leaders, sometimes they don't take time to get to know their saints. Sometimes it's about numbers. Sometimes you don't really know the names of your members or don't know their situations.
True.
But at this church, I've been able to see how it's one-on-one, and no matter how many of the numbers is, take time to get to know each other, so you know how to deal with people, so you know how to pray. And I know y'all seek God, and I know that God gives y'all insight, and I feel like that helped a lot because y'all saw my struggle without me having to tell you. Because sometimes people don't open up. It takes you, to pull on that sometimes.
Right.
And that's what it took for me, because I'm not one to talk about my problems, but it took God talking to y'all and y'all actually hearing the correct way to know how to deal with me on a personal level to bring me out of where I was at.
Right. So you feel at this time that you've kind of overcome, or not that you've kind of, but you've overcome the spirit of depression, and now you're living your life in freedom?
Yes, ma'am. I've never taken a mic until I came to this ministry.
Wow.
So that's a big difference. I would sit in the back of the church when I first came, and I slowly, without knowing, was pushed to the front. And I think they helped me more because I didn't know I was being pushed to the front.
Right.
I was just working in the ministry, and working in the ministry, I became this new person.
Awesome. Awesome. So I want everybody to give Minister Nataki a hand clap of praise for their awesome testimony and coming in contact with Ambassador Maliek Winstead. Thank you, Minister Nataki.